What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Midas Mulligan, live over the phone interview with world champion black belt DJ Jackson. DJ, how you doing today?
I'm good, Midas. How's everything?
Man, everything is everything, man. You know how we do on the activity bus. Man, last night, the activity bus made a post about Operation Octagon having a 170 championship fight between Ron Cyan and JB. And you hit the post and was like, hey, man, I'm the champ. I got the belt sitting in my house. And, how are they going to have a 170 title? So, and I was like, wow, I didn't even realize. I forgot you had beat Bianchi Zimmerman, right?
Yeah, I beat Bianchi, was it 5 rounds? 5 rounds to none. Just took him down every round, ground and pounded him. I'm working on finishing him next time. I can't have people like that not being finished, but especially when they're going to get on and talk smack about it. But yeah, man, I was just got done training, went home, about to play some video games, logged on Facebook for a little bit, and then I saw your post. I was like, I was legitimately confused at first. I was like, what the, like, how in the world can you have a 170-pound title fight when I not only have the 170-pound title, but the guy fighting for the 175 title, my last fight, I tapped him out in like 2 minutes or a minute, 30 seconds, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm like, how in the world can you have him fight for my title without even saying anything? Like, he didn't say nothing. I'm like, what in the world is going on?
And that's kind of unusual because, man, Operation Octagon, they're doing great things, man. They're the oldest amateur promotion in Northern Virginia. So it kind of like surprised me now that you bring it to my attention. Not to say that they're still not the greatest amateur promotion because, man, they have countless of fighters that's fought for Operation Octagon now that's in the UFC. So maybe it might have been just an error, or maybe they might have been like, well, DJ went pro. Were there rumors about you going pro?
Not that I know of. And if there were, they still could have messaged me, text me, call Master Lloyd, anything. But yeah, that blew my mind. I didn't know. I still don't know what to think of it. I probably have to go and message the guy, or maybe go up there tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, and so what in your personal opinion, before we get back into that, what do you think about the matchup between Roz and JB fighting for the vacant, I guess, or interim title?
I don't know. Like, I didn't really look at I don't even know who JB is. But I didn't really look at the post that well. I was just so thrown that they were having a 170-pound title fight. But Roz, like, I appreciate Roz for accepting the fight, but like I tapped him in a minute and a half. Like, why is he fighting for a title again? Like, for my title. Like, how is this man fighting for my title?
Right.
Like, I didn't understand. I don't understand that.
In all fairness, man, it sounds like you kind of upset a little bit about that.
I'm not upset because I'm upset because it feels kind of disrespectful. Like not so much that it happened. I'm like dang, like you don't have the respect to call me, text me, message me on Facebook, Twitter, tag me, something, like anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like nothing. Like just nothing. And then next thing I know, there's a 175 title fight. Like, I don't even know. But like you said,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't even.
Like you said, Operation Octagon they're super good for this area. So like, man, they're one of the best fight organizations in this area. Like, they always find fighters and stuff like that. Like, I had a few problems with people pulling out of fights, but that's not their fault. Like, they helped a lot trying to set stuff up. So I appreciate them and everything they're doing. So I'm hoping it was just an oversight. It may have just been an oversight. Maybe, I know they have new management, stuff like that. Maybe, like, the switch hopefully it was just a mistake.
Yeah, but hopefully, here's the thing. I love Operation Octagon. I remember the very first Operation Octagons when they was in Prince William Fairground. I mean, that's how long I've been around. But yeah, let's just be real. This is DJ Jackson. You know what I'm saying? This is DJ Jackson, one of the biggest, no disrespect, the second main attraction in this area since Mike the Hawk Easton when it comes to MMA. You know what I mean? So,
thank you, man.
You're not going to forget who the 170 champ is, especially when it's DJ Jackson. That's just like, man, that's almost disrespectful to say Michael Jordan's not the greatest basketball player of all time. You currently hold 2 titles at 170 from 2 different promotions. You know what I'm saying? And you beat game opponents, man. Like how do you? What are you, 5 or 6 fights in?
Five
fights in, and you came in and you beat, because even though you beat Roz in 1 minute and 30 seconds, Roz has destroyed everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I watched some of his fights when I was training for him, and like when I watch people's fights, I always try to expect the best out of him. So I knew he was game. Like I seen he had good power on both hands. He had good wrestling. So yeah, man, I trained hard for that fight. I knew he was coming to fight. He always comes to fight. So I was ready for him. I knew he wasn't just going to come out there and lay down, but that's my job, to train hard enough to where everyone has no choice but to lay down.
I got you, and then to top it all, you beat Bianchi Zimmerman, who is like 8-2. You know, has way more cage experience than you. Yes, it did go 5 rounds. You know, but it was almost like, to me, because I seen the fight. You know, it almost seemed like you went 5 rounds just to see if you can go 5 rounds. Or was Bianchi really that tough?
No, it wasn't that tough. I went 5 rounds because I took the fight on a week and a half notice. I was doing nothing but jiu-jitsu before that fight. You know what I mean? Like, I was training to fight Roz. So when I fought Bianchi, like I took him down super easy, but it was like I wasn't ready. The short notice really affected my ground and pound and submission game, but it's still not going to stop me from winning the fight. Like, there's nothing he could have done to win the fight. But if I'd have known that if I didn't submit him, he was going to go on Facebook and talk about how good he was because I didn't tap him. Like yeah, I actually feel like I lost that fight because I didn't tap him out. I'm like, damn, I can't believe I didn't tap this dude out. Not because he went to a grappler's quest or a Naga. And one of our blue belts tapped him out in, no, that wasn't him. That was Jeff Melvin. One of our blue belts tapped Jeff Melvin. But no. At the last Grappler's Quest, my boy Angelo tapped him out, like, with a choke from the back. So I'm like, damn, I do feel like I lost that fight because I should have tapped him out or finished him somewhere. But
You know, and here's the thing, right? Because you beat Bianchi, and a lot of people don't know this. You beat Bianchi and Roz within 2 weeks apart. Because a lot of people thought that was disrespectful for you to take those 2 fights, because those 2 fighters, man, no disrespect to you again, 1 or 2 more fights, either one of those guys could go pro and make a decent run at the local pro level. So people was like, wow, DJ is just disrespectful. How is he going to fight one guy that's a high level amateur in the area, and then 2 weeks later fight another guy that's high level, in the area?
Anyone that looks at it as disrespectful doesn't have the end goals in mind that I have. Like, I don't want to be a good pro in this area. I want to be a champ in the UFC. So the best thing that can happen to me is to fight somebody in an amateur fight who can kick my ass, and you know what I mean, like someone that I won't get taken down. Like, I can't take them down. Their strike is better than mine, so I can learn from it. You know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to find someone who can do that. Like,
wow.
Because I would rather get my ass kicked and learn from the experience in an amateur fight where it doesn't count on my pro record. You know what I mean?
Like, I do understand. Because the last interview you and I had, man, it's almost like you have, like, this Spartan mentality where you welcome what the Spartans call a beautiful death. You want that challenge. You want that person that's going to embarrass you in the cage. You're gonna go in like into an organization and say, who's the best? Because these are the people that I want to fight. Where does that come from?
It comes from what Maslow brings down. Like, it's not because I don't like I said, I don't want to, like, no one here wants to be good amateurs or good people, like just good pros in the area. Yeah, I want to be good in the area, but that's just is going to happen on the way to getting your UFC belt. Like if I do what I'm supposed to do, all that stuff, all these other things are just going to happen. But the goal is to get a UFC belt, and I think I'm just trying to learn from all the experiences that I'm doing. Like, that's why I took the fight on short notice, so I can. Because there's gonna be times when I'm a pro where when I turn pro, if I'm fighting and I'm training for one fight over here at Strikeforce or at some organization and the UFC calls, like on a short notice fight, I'm taking it. Like, you can't not take it if the UFC calls. So I got to be ready to fight on short notice. So that's why I'm doing stuff like that. Like,
Right. And how's your striking coming along? I know you just finished boxing.
Yeah, I just got done boxing sparring with a bunch of guys. Man, it's coming along good. I'm sparring with James Vick, Peter, Mike Easton, guys with hands that are better than mine, trying to stay disciplined and not try to take them down so I can, right now I'm just, like, a lot of times I spar with Vic, Mike, especially, like, they just kick my ass on the feet, but, like, I got to get my hands better. Like, it has to happen. It's either going to happen now or later, but it needs to happen now. So,
again, man, everybody says, everybody that's a true fan of the sport always says, once DJ's hands come together, there's no stopping you. People know that. People know as soon as this guy gets his boxing together, his Muay Thai together, people are like, oh man, who's going to beat this cat? So what do you think about that? Is that like a extra motivation to make sure that you work on your striking all the time?
Yeah, man. I'm just I want to be the best. I want to get the UFC belt, and I want to hold on to it. So to do that, I have to do what I got to do. So I got to work on my hands. I got to keep my wrestling up. Got to make sure my jiu-jitsu where it needs to be. I got to work. Right? I got to grind like there ain't no tomorrow. So that's all I'm doing. And that's all of us are doing here at Team Urban. Like we all have the same goals. That's why we succeed, because we have a bunch of people with the same goals and we're willing to sacrifice to make these things happen.
Okay, no, may I play devil's advocate for a second, if you don't mind? There's a lot of people that are saying, are you going to ever go back to 55?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go back to 55. The second I start getting paid to fight, I'm not cutting all that weight for free. you won't even do like a test fight at 55 as an amateur just to see what. I know I can make 55 no problem, but it's still it takes a lot. So I'm not dealing with that for free.
All right, no. Here's the thing. Because I happen to like Jeff Melvin and Bianchi Zimmerman. I think those two guys, what they do is great. No, because the fans want to know this. What Jeff Melvin and Bianchi Zimmerman do as far as they want to fight the best too. And Bianchi thinks that he can beat you next time you guys fight. It's been documented on my Facebook, Midas Mulligan. Go check that out. He's actually got on one of my posts and said, I can't wait to fight DJ again. I could beat DJ. He's not afraid of you. Jeff Melvin, who is a great striker, called out anybody from TLI. And he has a tough game opponent. Peter, he's fighting August 23rd, Operation Octagon. What is your insights about that?
Man, Jeff Melvin calling us out, it confused me. I didn't know what was going on. Because at first looking at it, I didn't think it was all that bad. But then he just wouldn't stop. It's kind of like he's that kind of. I know he's trying to troll. You know what I mean? He's just saying stuff for publicity or whatever he's doing it for. But because we're at the tournament and he's all super nice to everyone at our program, talking about he said Angelo, the guy who chapped out Bianchi in the last tournament, was his favorite grappler. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Didn't you say you wanted to fight anybody from Team Lord Urban? I'm like, Angelo don't even do MMA, but he can step into the cage right now and beat the crap out of you. But I haven't been this excited for a fight in a long time, man. I can't wait for Peter to beat the shit out of this dude and to shut his mouth. No, you can't tap him out, Peter. You have to punch him in his mouth so he can't open it for a week. He needs to shut up. But he's still talking. I'm like, it gets extraordinarily frustrating when you know. I know you're joking, but it's don't joke about me, my team, and my family.
Right.
No, you can't do that. It's not a game. And on the August 23rd, Peter's going to show you it's not a game.
But that's the thing, though. These guys, I understand, how somebody could be, one of your favorites, but you still want to kind of, go out there and, kind of like GSP, when he fought Matt Hughes. He was like, oh, man, this is my hero. But I still want to go out there and beat him. But it's wasn't they trying to train with you guys before or something like that? What was that about?
I don't know about that, man. Maxwell we have an open invitation to anybody in the area to come and train. but I'm pretty sure their invitation has been rescinded. I don't know. I'm not mad for it, but like they're talking so much shit. It's so irritating to me, but maybe, I don't know. But yeah, there's always been an open invitation for anyone to come train because we want to raise the level of this area's MMA up. Like we don't want people, like there's a lot of people in this area that want to be the best in their area. Like we don't want to be the best in the area. We want to be the best in the world. And to do that, we need to train together. We need more training partners from different places. That's why we have the invitation. Like this, you're not gonna come in here and start sparring and somebody pull out a video camera and post it on YouTube. Like no, like what happens in here stays in here. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're not those type of dudes. We're not like you're not gonna have somebody come in here and we just all on the side laughing and you know what I mean? Like videotaping them get his ass whooped or something like that.
Yeah, like a slap video or something.
Yeah, we're just trying to get better. Like that's all we're doing. Just trying to get better. We're training hard, trying to get better.
Right. So hey, before you go pro, you know, before you make that leap, is there any way that we can see you and Bianchi one more time?
Man, I'll fight him right after Nogi World, man. Like, because there's nothing he can do. Like, that's why I don't understand how him or, like, it's not his fault. Because as a fighter, you were supposed to be confident. But how the hell did none of your friends tell you that this was a bad idea? Like, so you would have talked to whoever their coach is and be like, yeah, no, like who's your friends? Like who are you listening to? Like who's telling you? Like that's like me talking shit. Like man, I'm gonna fight Ray Maynard right now or Frankie Edgar right now. Like no, like these are the people that I'm training for. The people with the abilities that I can't take down that I'm just gonna be stuck on the feet with. Oh, I'm just gonna take him down again and then beat the shit out of him again. Like, unless he knows something, I don't know. Unless he got a scholarship to the University of Maryland and he's on the wrestling team, but I know he's not because I know all the wrestlers from the University of Maryland, and I'm about to start training there, and he's not there. So, like, unless he has like some collegiate level wrestling inserted into his body to prevent me from taking him down, then, but I know it's not true. So, like, who's telling you this?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, and much to his credit, man, he wants to fight you. And he, in his mind, in his heart and soul, now I believe Bianchi thinks that he could beat you. You know, he actually believes that. But here's the thing, though, you know, because you said everybody needs to come together and train and make the area better. I get that. But right now, it just seems like there's a fight for supremacy in the DMV area. I mean, I kind of like it as a fan because all of these fighters are calling each other out. All of these fighters is like, yo, I want to fight you. I want to fight the best. And then right now, it's a battle for supremacy.
I don't really think there's a battle for supremacy because who the hell can beat anybody from our team? We'll see it when Peter beats the Jeff Melvin. I beat Haraz. I beat Bianchi. Like, but I didn't just beat them. Like, I beat the shit out of both of them. Like, there's not a battle for supremacy. We're just, like, we're ahead. Like, people don't train as hard as we train.
But you didn't fight Rob Wiley.
Man, he dodged me.
No, I've been
trying to fight Rob Wiley for 5 years. Like, that, man, you almost made me upset saying that. I'm like, I knew
that was gonna get you, DJ. I knew that was gonna get you.
My voice changed and everything. This mother,
yo, you about to be like, hey man, in the interview.
Because I saw the funny thing is, you know how Bianchi called me out. It's like it looked like a Dave Chappelle episode of The Haters when I was fighting Rob. Rob Watley and Bianchi was just on the side of the ring hating. Just like, I know y'all hating over there, but you hating, I've been shouting you too, dog.
Yeah, hey, but you know what? I try to get Rob because the word was Rob Watley wanted to fight you, but his team wouldn't let him. Now, my question is this:
no, that is not. To me, that is what should be happening with Bianchi. His team knows what will happen. Like, you can be as confident as you want as a fighter. Like, you can't fight without having a certain type of personality. Like, I'm pretty sure Mike Easton, if you asked him who would win a fight between him and Chris Weidman right now, he would say him. Because that's just the type of person he is.
Right.
But, you know what I mean? But Rob Watley's team is realistic, and they know what will happen if I fight Rob Wadley, and they won't allow it to happen. I'm like, right, especially not in an amateur fight. Like, if you're gonna take a ass whooping, man, it's like you gotta work on your skill sets to stop me from doing what I'm gonna do to you. And Rock don't have it. Like, I've seen his fights, he gets taken down all the time. It's all sloppy and shit like that. But he's a tough dude, and he pulls it out. But Bianchi's tough too, and like my fights aren't sloppy. Like, they look sloppy, but the same thing happens each and every time. And like, I'm not gonna take you down and get rolled over to my back, so you can start elbowing me to the top. I'm gonna take you down. You're gonna stay there. Like,
yeah, because Rob Wadley, man, he just I'm not to knock Rob Wadley, because he, you were talking about this, he made that leap without having a jiu-jitsu, so now he gets his first loss, his first fight as a pro was a loss by armbar, so now he decides to take jiu-jitsu. But wouldn't you as a fighter, if you want to go pro, I would have fought you as an amateur just to see what my skills was like against a high-level jiu-jitsu guy. You know what I mean?
And that's the same thing I said. Like, man, losses at the pro level matter a lot more than they do at the amateur level. Because at the amateur level, they don't really matter at all. They're about improvement. The only reason I'm saying that, like, Bianchi probably shouldn't step in the cage with me again as an amateur is because he hasn't done the things that he can do to beat me. So, like, when I lost to Galvao, I learned something. Like, right. Everyone loses, but I learned from that loss. I learned from it. I came back to the room, and I fixed my mistakes. But Bianchi, the same thing's going to happen. Why do you need to learn the same lesson twice? Like, I'm trying to learn lessons from other people. Like, I've seen wrestlers turn pro, and they get beat up because they can't take a dude down. They may win 7 fights first, and then, you know what I mean? Like Clay Guida versus Chad Mendez. Like, who in the world didn't know that was going to happen? Everyone knew that was going to happen. You know what I mean? Right. But I actually don't think there was anything Clay Guida could do about it anyway. But, you know what I mean? Like, why do I need to get my ass whooped as a professional in the UFC when my family's watching and stuff like that to learn this lesson that I already know? I already know I need to work on my hands. Like, why don't I just do that now?
And shout out to Master Lloyd too, man, because I was talking on the interview with, when I was up there in Camp Springs, and I was talking to everybody, and I had an interview with Master Lloyd. People think this conception about Master Lloyd is that he doesn't think that his fighters need help. But Master Lloyd even told me himself, he was like, hey, man, if my guys need a Muay Thai instructor, I got to go out there and get the best Muay Thai instructor for my guys. Or I got a boxing coach, I got to go out there and get the best boxing coach, the best wrestling coach for my guys. You know what I mean? So everybody has this misconception that he doesn't do stuff like that. And I think that's why he's so great as a coach, is because he can be like, hey, DJ, you know what? You need to work on your boxing.
Man, when I won Nogi Rose, Master Lloyd had a college wrestling black belt. He was a Ken Promola. He's a black belt from up in Jersey. He had the guy come down, he was driving down every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I think it was, like, and working with me every day, you know what I mean, just on my wrestling, because that's what I needed to win. Like, and Master Lloyd, he paid for all that stuff. Like, that's why I'm so appreciative of everything he's ever done for me. But that's what he brings in, people from Holland. Coach Burt is a Holland Muay Thai instructor. He came over from Holland to work with Mike and James Vipp on the Dutch Muay Thai style. And then now we have Jamal, who's up here from Atlanta under Coach Manu. Man, super good Muay Thai, working with all the guys. Our boxing coach, both his sons are undefeated pros. Like Matt Floyd brings in, he's not going to bring in no mediocre coach to coach any of us.
No, like, absolutely not.
We get the best of everything. We're super spoiled over here, but when people say stuff like that, when I hear stuff like that, it's so comical because, man, people they just say people say the weirdest, darndest things like about like all the misconceptions about Master Lloyd. Like, I've never seen Master Lloyd anywhere and someone come up to him and talk to him about jiu-jitsu and him, like, you know what I mean, like diss him or brush him off. I've never seen it. Right. Like, even when he had something to do, he would sit there and talk to people about martial arts all day. Like, so I'm like, when people say that he's like a mean guy or this or that, I don't know where it comes from. I really don't. Like, yeah, he's big and black, and he looks kind of scary. But man, he's like one of the nicest dudes in the world.
He is, man. I can even vouch for that, man. He sit down with me, man, and I probably feel like I owe him some money because he gave me so much knowledge just in an hour time, man.
He loves martial arts. He loves the area. He loves like the MMA in this area. He wants to build a good team, so he's just going to do what he needs to do to make that happen. And no matter what, even if he don't like it, it's just going to help the team. He'll do it. Like,
right. Can you give us some good look? Like for instance, right? TLI has two guys, right? That I'm very interested in. I just thought about this, and I got to ask you. Maybe you can give us an inside track. Man, when is Musin Corbry going to go? The UFC going to call that brother up, man?
Man,
or Ron Stallings, man. I mean, you know, really, because you know what I'm saying. I mean, some guys belong, and they should have been in the UFC. One FC something.
We're asking the same question here, man. Man, Musin was beating the crap out of Nate Diaz. Like, go and watch Musin Corbry versus Nate Diaz. Like, he was one round like away from being in the UFC. Like, literally, probably 2 minutes. Like, he beat the crap out of him in the first round. It didn't even look like the fight was going to be close. Right. But then he ended up. I think he got taken down in the second, and he lost the third in a super close fight. But like, that's Nate Diaz. He's top 5 in the UFC right now. Like, how is someone that can go toe to toe with a top 5 UFC fighter, someone who was just about to get a title shot, like not in the UFC? Like, how is it possible? Like,
that's what I want to know. You know, those are the questions that I want to know too. And like Ron Stallings, man, Ron Stallings has to be one of the most exciting fighters, man. I mean, Ron Stallings is out there to finish.
Man, and he does it.
And he does.
He just finished his last guy in the fight in the third round of a fight where they were in South Carolina, and that's what he said. Everyone from out of town was just getting like bad decision after bad decision, and he came to the corner after the second round, and Matt was like, "Man, if this goes to decision, man, you're gonna lose." We already know this. Like, there's no way you're gonna beat this hometown guy here. And Ron heard the information; he wouldn't finish them.
Right.
So,
and that's another thing about fighting out of town. It's like, you know, it's hard to go into somebody's house and win a close decision. You know,
that's impossible. They can't be close.
Yeah,
you may go into somebody else's town and beat the crap out of them for 3 rounds. Like, if I was from out of town, came to fight Bianchi, the fight could have happened the same way. I may have lost.
Yeah.
They don't. Out of town people don't get no love, man. It's just. But you got to know that we already know that. So why would a coach like around the officially it would have been 1-1 if the judging was fair, like 1 round to 1 round. But no, we can't tell Ron he got to win the round because you have to assume that he lost that first round. It's a choice but to assume it because everyone else that night lost rounds that they won. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, exactly. And both of those guys are dangerous, though. Both of those guys are super dangerous. Both of them can knock you out. You know what I mean? So is Master Lloyd really pushing the issue about the UFC getting them signed or something, man? Because I think
Master Lloyd's been pushing the issue on that for years. Like, I really have no clue. I couldn't even begin to tell you how many times it's not in the UFC. The people I see fighting in the UFC, like the top 5 45ers are good. You know what I mean? But the rest of them, I'm like, man, Musin would kill all these dudes. Like, man, even if they gave him they could put him in a tournament, like give him like 2 weeks in between each fight, and like people that aren't in the top 5 in the UFC, Musin would kill those guys, man. It's like some of the strikers that I see in the UFC that I see fighting, I'm like, Musin striking is so far ahead of those dudes. Like, I'm like, man, I don't know how him or Ron not in the UFC. It's completely and utterly bad.
Well, they can't let too many TLI members in there. They be like, oh, no, they took over the American Jiu-Jitsu world. We can't let them take over the UFC, too.
They really need to get back. I don't have an answer for it.
That's exactly what it is. They're like, man, we can't let too many TLI people. TLI will take over the UFC as well. Yeah. So we got last question, and then I'll let you go. I know you just got done training and you're tired. You're probably going to go and recuperate. Mike Easton, man. What's up with Mike, man?
Mike's training, man. Mike's still in the UFC, and he's training to get back to the top.
All right, good. Because we still, this area, we all love Mike Easton, and we want to go on record and say we're so glad that they didn't drop him because he's still a top 10 135er.
Yeah.
In the world, and he's still training hard.
Yeah, Mike's one of the most mentally tough people you'll ever meet in your life, man. Like he just comes back and he just gets back to training. Like that's all there is to it. Like he's not down on himself. There's no depression. He don't go out and start drinking and getting all depressed and waste time. Man, he's just back in and he's back training. Like that's just how Mike rolls.
And it gets a lot better.
Huh? Oh man, he's getting better. But that's why he's still in the UFC. Because he's so exciting, man. Like no matter what happens in the fight, Mike's trying to just kick the guy's ass.
And he got the best chin. He probably has the best chin in the UFC.
Man, yeah, that dude. I've never really seen him. I've never seen him drop in practice. Like not even drops. Even when, man, no matter who he's sparring, even when he's sparring people 50 pounds bigger than him, never seen him drop. His chin is ultra good, but he's just out there banging, trying to kick the guy's ass. Like you know it's bad when you're fighting a Muay Thai guy from Canada and he's trying to double leg you. That confused. I know that confused the crap out of Mike. That happened. Mike hit that dude so hard. He shot so fast.
Oh heck yeah, man! But, Mike's got some solid hands too. I mean, Mike.
He hits hard,
sleep, man.
He was complaining a while ago because his first few fights you see everybody was running from him. I'm like, man, you ever hit yourself, Bama? Like you hit hard. I don't even know how you make 135 pounds.
Me neither.
Man, you hit hard. I'm not surprised anybody's running from you. I'd be surprised if they didn't, because if they didn't, they would just go to sleep. Like
absolutely,
there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like,
absolutely, man, because this stand up great.
Yeah,
and he's like I said, he'll put you to sleep without a hand.
Man, when I fight Mike, when I feel my eyes run back in my head, I shoot fast. I try to work my hands up. I'm not going to sneak and sparring. Like, nah, I either move or I shoot fast. And I'm not even that much bigger than Mike. Mike's dude. I have no idea how he makes that weight cut.
Right. So when are you going? You said after Nogi World, which is what date?
October 3rd.
You'll be back in the cage.
Yeah, I'll be back in the cage, man. I'm gonna start my run.
All right, so you want to give a shout-out to anybody real quick?
I'm going to give a shout-out to my boy. First of all, Master Lloyd makes all this possible. Like, we can't even, he brings us all together, and he just sets the example for us to follow. Like Mike Easton, James Vick's fighting on August 3rd. James Vick, our dude from Texas, he's going to be fighting in Oklahoma. He's fighting somebody from Nobu Yao, I forgot his name, but he's going to do work for us on August 23rd, and then my boy Peter Pettis, man, like Peter's going to show people why they can't run their mouth.
Oh, like, man.
Like, man.
So, Jeff, get ready, Jeff. You heard it.
The consequences for what you say. Like, you can't, you're not just going to open your mouth about people and there's nothing happens. A lot of people can get away with that, but, like, the people that don't fight, but a lot of people think they can say whatever they want online. Which,
so what's your prediction? So what's your prediction with that fight? Is it going to go 3 rounds?
Man, I wanted to, but I know Peter is not going to allow it. I want Peter to beat his ass and not let him out of the fight. but if he's got to finish him, man, I'm telling Peter to just be punching him in the face so he can't open his mouth back up. So
you got it going round 1.
Man, Peter can finish that dude literally whenever he wants to. It's up to Peter. Like I don't know what Peter has planned for this dude, but he put Peter in a dark place by talking about that shit. So I feel bad for the guy.
Oh, wow. Hey, Jeff. Yeah. Hey, Jeff Melvin, man, I love you, but it sounds like for me, August 23rd, you got to expect hell. So I hope you're training, Jeff. Jeff, I love you, though. I love you, Jeff. I love you, too, Pianki. Like I say, just because they're not here right now doesn't mean, I just don't want to be a fake guy like that. I do like those guys. But
I understand.
But, a war is a war. You know what I'm saying? So I hope they're ready. Because I want to see a good fight. The fans want to see a good fight. It'll
be exciting for the fans. It'll be real exciting for the fans to see that ass whooping, but it won't be a fight, really. It'll be like a middle school bully.
Oh yeah, and Jeff Wild, man, I know Jeff will probably listen to this too. Jeff, if you're listening, like I know you probably are, hey, you got to fix that, man, because the 170-pound champ is here.
Yeah, just hit me up, man. I'll be there on the 23rd. I'll talk to you on the 23rd. I'll be there with you.
Oh, you gonna be in the crowd?
I'm gonna be in the corner.
Oh, I'm gonna be there too.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely gonna see you. I'll see you there. Hey,
yeah, yes, sir.
Do me a favor. Say hello to Shajar for me, man. I love her.
Oh, I will, man.
She's such a sweetheart. You know, she's a champ too. I got to get up with her. I'm still putting like this women's format thing together that I had promised her for the activity bus, man, and I haven't forgot her. Tell her I love her, man, and congratulations. Right. She's a black belt now, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell her congratulations on that to be the TLI female black belt.
I will, sir.
All right, thanks, DJ. Take it easy, man.
Thank you, man.
All right, later.